Welcome to iserve Africa, where we transform your procurement processes with cutting-edge technology. Experience unparalleled control and insight with our comprehensive reporting features designed for today's dynamic business environments. Dive into our procurement plan report, which gives you a detailed overview of your financial year, aligning budgets seamlessly with your procurement activities to ensure effective management and foresight. Follow every detail of your demand planning through real-time updates and proactive management tools that allow for adjustments on the fly, ensuring you're always a step ahead. Simplify your requisition process with our intuitive requisition workflow. From initial request to final reviews, monitor and manage each step with clarity and ease. Our tender portal revolutionizes supplier interaction, streamlining your request for quotations with a multi-tier workflow that facilitates easy comparison and optimal decision-making. Gain critical insights from our custom-built reports and analytical dashboards. Every transaction and action is logged and auditable, providing you with real-time data to drive efficiency and strategic growth. iserve Africa is redefining procurement management. Empower your team with actionable insights and robust tools designed to excel in procurement management. Book a demo today and take the first step towards transforming your procurement strategy.
Right. Good afternoon once again. I did say we're just giving a few more people to join as they come back from the breaks. So at exactly, well, I think it's now 3 minutes past 2. We will resume as everybody trickles in. We want to keep this session as concise as possible so that we can free everyone to their daily tasks. But it is quite an exciting time for us. We are trying something new where we are inviting all our business partners and end users in one sitting, and we make one huge announcement in terms of the updates that we've been working on and are going to release in due course. So I think at this moment, everyone should feel privileged to be part of this session. And I know it will drive excitement from the business partners requesting new features, and also from our end users just to keep abreast with what's coming in the latest release. We hope to do these webinars on a quarterly basis when we sum up new and exciting release notes, and then we'll form part of that community. For now, I think this platform will just serve for announcements, and my co-host Terence will be taking us through the product itself. And then shortly after that, probably for the first 30 minutes of the session, that will be Terence. If you have any comments, questions, you're welcome to also throw in some thumbs up reaction if you're happy with the features that we're announcing. But just do know that our chats are open, so with any recommendations or follow-ups that you might want us to touch on during that first 30 minutes. Then shortly after that, we'll go into the partner discussions, which would focus on the launch of our channel platform, and all prospective business partners who are interested will be encouraged to go to the platform, sign up, and after that, our dedicated team will attend to your ticket and help you to register your entity. With that being said, over to you, Terence. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Zweli. Thank you everyone for being here. Before I get started, I just want to start with a simple question. How many of you have a process in your office that currently held together by a spreadsheet that only one person knows how to use, or an email thread that's 40 messages long? I bet there's a lot of people can relate in this session to that problem. And based on that, this is why we created iserve. And this is to digitalize business processes, provide platforms that make it easy to basically shape and map out businesses' processes and digitalize them. And these issues of having spreadsheets and business silos, we call it the shadow IT. Businesses move at the speed of light, but traditional software development moves at a snail's pace. By the time IT builds a solution, the business problem has already changed. That's why we built iserve. iserve isn't a procurement app. It's not an HR app or a budget app. It is a general purpose digitalization engine. It allows you, the consultant and the business owners, to map your reality into a digital workflow in days and not in months. All right. So on my screen here, I'm already sharing the application itself. So I'm just going to log in so that we get to see the application inside. All right. Right. As soon as I log in, what you'll notice on the side rails is that we have multiple departments, or what we call teams. You can move from one department to another. And this is what I'm referring to when I say that it's not just a procurement application. It can be more than that. Whatever business process that can be shaped or put down as a workflow then can be documented and reproduced in iserve. So I can switch from procurement to budget, or I can switch to a different department where it can be asset verification, right? In the middle of the screen, as you can see on the side, which is on the left here, we have reports, right? Different reports. And by the way, these reports can be custom made or built for that particular department. We have transactions, processes, and automation, and also processes that can be classified as audit and compliance. And most importantly, we have the maintenance tab. If you're a consultant or a business implementation partner, you should be familiar with this section of the application, which includes our building tools. You can think of iserve as a business Lego bricks. We provide you with the Lego bricks. You apply your imagination and build whatever you want to build using the application, right? Firstly, what I want to show you guys is the intuitive business mapping tool that we have that we call the whiteboard. And what this is that it allows business consultants to basically map out the business process according to their needs. When you move from one company to another or from one department to the next, what you'll realize is that the way they handle their process or their business, it could be different. So instead of us building a solid and fixed solution that we sell to everyone, we build a platform that allows consultants and business experts to shape out their processes according to their policies and their needs, right? So this is our iserve workflow builder, which allows you to build applications and different workflows by shaping it as it is. We have review steps. This allows for adding signatures and reviews. For example, in a budgeting process where maybe the accountants have captured the budget, there might be a need to review these things and apply a signature so that everything that is complete and regarded as the full budget is either has an oversight by the managers and the reviewers in the organization as well, right? And again, I just want to show quickly the system forms, right? All right. Our system forms basically are dynamic. And what that means is you can basically build any type of form, right? It allows you to build a form and capture any type of information and merge it within your workflow, right? And the biggest advantage of this tool is that it allows for integration, right? And I bet most of us have experienced this with big ERP systems that are they can do the finances and do all these other stuffs, but they leave out all the other stuff that you might need to do. And these end up becoming manual tasks where now you need to take a paper, print it, put it in Bali's desk, and Bali might get back to you after a week or a month. So instead of doing that, we digitalize the platform, we digitalize the process by creating a form that captures all that information you need, and everything becomes now transparent and available for everyone to use and see. right? And what we do is that we have built what we call the integration tool. The integration tool basically uses APIs to integrate to any platform. This way, we become the connector between either your contract management system, your ERP, your HR, or your inventory management system. We do this by using the industry standard, which are APIs, and these APIs would then allow you to integrate information and make sure that you destroy all the silos that would exist in these ecosystem of business platforms that will be provided in your department, right? And this integration platform is not limited to APIs. We have what we call data pipelines, and we can integrate with any databases, because sometimes you find a situation when you get to a client, they have a database that was built years ago and it's still active and they like to use it and it has valuable information. In that case, we can then now build a data pipeline that allows us to integrate directly to that database and bring that information into one space, right? And then some other things that I would love to show. If I'm moving too fast, guys, just raise your hands and let me know, because I know that some people are seeing the system for the first time. The reason I'm moving this fast is because we've done training before. There are people who've seen the system before, all right? Just raise your hand and let me know, right? So these are the two tools that allow us to build business processes and basically map them out. It's the workflow builder and also the forms builder. Another thing that we have is that at the end of the life cycle of a business is that we need reporting. I've captured information, it has followed the right workflow, but now we need to represent information into dashboards. What iserve offers, it offers dashboards that can be customized and built according to your needs. If you have a specific reports that would be needed, then you can just shout out and basically add a ticket, and we build these reports custom made for your needs. And what's nice now with the new version, which is version 3.5, is that what we realize is that as much as we can build custom reports, there are generic reporting that needs to happen, especially in relation to productivity, right? And what we did is that we added what we call executive reports. Let me just go back here. We've added executive reports. Executive reports gives you an overview into your transactions. As you can see here, I'm in the procurement department, right? And I'm in my requisitions, right? And from my requisitions, I can see that based on my report date range, I have like 23 transactions in total, right? And I can basically view the performance in this requisitions. And I can see based on how fast my transactions are moving, and I can break them down based on the specific step. This allows you to see process bottlenecks. It allows you to see the need for resourcing and where maybe the inefficiencies in your processes. So these reports provide that information and that overview, meaning by the time you as a user lands here, you get to see all this information and you can make a decision in a split of a second. And this then informs you to say you can make the right decisions, right? So as you can see here, this report will then give you a metrics to say that, as you can see here, I have about 200 in terms of the number of transactions that I have in this step, which is the create requisition step, and which transactions are in my review step as well. And these transactions can also be shown in terms of periods, annual periods, and you can see which period is the busiest in that year. As you can see here, we have the period that was the busiest, which had a count of 20 transactions that were initiated. Another thing is the compliance as well. Because you get reviews as well, you get to see an overview of the compliance, which transaction, how many transactions were approved, how many transactions were rejected in that regard. This then now gives you a good idea in terms of the work that we're putting in, the transactions that we are initiating, how compliant are they, all right? Another one we have is where items are in the process. This allows you to get to see where items are situated in the whole process. So this workflow process in itself, it has a few steps. We have the create, review, and we also have the last stage where now it's basically approved. As you can see here, I have 10 items in the first step, which is the creation of the requisition. I have 4 items in my review step, and I have 1 transaction that was rejected, and I have 8 items that were approved. And in addition to that, we get to see how long do transactions take in that step. As you can see with the line graph here, it shows that we had items that spent over 250 days in this step. And you can now figure out that whoever is responsible for maintaining transaction in this step are basically, they are overly overwhelmed with work, or maybe you need to add more individuals to assist in this step. So this reporting gives you an overview in terms of the overall process itself, all right? And then we get to see the workload. And this basically just shows you who does what, right? And you can see here, it shows you that Terence has done about 21 transactions, and Dev at Afrob has done 2 transactions. And you get to see that as far as my staff is concerned, as far as the staff is concerned, who's basically being overworked, and this can now inform the need to resource as well. And then we have the step heat map, right? Let me just show you here. We have the step heat map, and maybe I'll switch to a different organization where we have more individuals so you can see the heat map as a whole. With the heat map, it'll show you responsibility versus the users or the members in your process. You get to see that which member participates where and how often do they participate as well, right? Then it's the resource utilization. If it's obviously over 150, it means we are overly utilized, and we need to now fix this by adding more resources to this process. And again, as well, we get to see the resource utilization across multiple workflow steps as well. In addition to that, we have a table that shows you the workload, items waiting in that process, and it gives you a suggestion in terms of how can we fix any bottlenecks in here. For example, for the create requisition step, we have you need to consider adding the capacity here, right? And then additionally, let me just scroll there. Additionally, this is basically a breakdown in terms of the team size per step. And then we have the SLA and aging, right? So with every workflow step, which is an additional new feature that we've added to version 3.5. Usually if I have a workflow, let me just go back to the diagram. Back here. Usually if I have a simple workflow similar to this one, right, where a requisition would be started by either Zwelakhe here, and then it will be approved by Terence here, and that if it is approved, then we can regard it as an approved requisition or a rejected requisition. Usually if a transaction would move from here to here, this transaction could take infinite days if you can think about it. But in the real world, in the business process, we know that we have timelines, we have due dates, and we need to get things done in a specific time. So what we added is an ability to add an SLA delivery date for productivity, right? So what I can do is I can set up for this particular workflow step and say that the duration is limited to 7 days, right? Meaning that if it takes a transaction on this step more than 7 days, then we regard it as an overdue transaction. This will then open up to new features like escalating after a certain period or time-based escalations as well, right? So this would then inform our aging, right? And you can see that items waiting at review and non-review steps, longer bars means more items waiting. Use this to prioritize work and reduce delays as well. This is informed by the very same settings I just showed you guys there, where now you can set up the number of days per workflow step, right? And then we get to see transactions that are breaching that SLA as well. And you can see that it's been waiting for 343 days here, as you can see, all right? And this would then give you a good idea in terms of when I prioritize my transactions, which one should I start off with first if they've been waiting for too long, all right? And then in addition to that, we have customizable dashboards or cards, right? For example, in this case, we have the requisition process. And in the requisition process, it includes the allocated budget here, as you can see, right? So what you can do is you can create a report and add a report where it shows you the total budget allocation within the specified time frame or date range, all right? And then in addition to that, sometimes you get transactions that have a categorization. For example, this requisitions can either have a specific procurement method. It can either be a restricted tender or a two-staging tender. So in this case, we can then now break down our transactions per department or category of transaction as it is, all right? And then in addition to that, what we added is on our item transaction list, it's an ability to see the transaction due date as well. So as you can see here, this transaction is on the review requisition stage. And if I place my mouse over this, it will tell me that this review requisition has 2 weeks remaining and it's due on March the 16th. This way, it allows users and end users to manage their work accordingly, plan accordingly as well, and distribute work accordingly as well. And then another addition to that is that we had the tags. This would allow you to tag transactions, right? But based on the due date, the transactions would be automatically tagged by the system if it's overdue. Let me just expand so I show you transactions that were overdue and tagged. For example, this requisition was tagged. Oh, there are questions. Oh, let me just check. Oh, if there's any questions, all right. If there's any questions, you can just raise your hand or drop a comment on the chats. All right, all right. So, for example, we have this transaction here, which is REQ042. REQ042 has been overdue for 19 weeks now, and you can see here now it has an overdue tag. This overdue tag allows us to basically categorize and segment our transactions into specific groups based on the tag that was assigned to it, all right? And then in addition to this, for version 3.5, what we've added is, let me just open here on a transaction view, right? What we added is what we call transaction reports. If you've been here before, what you'd remember is that we only had the system docs and the activity log, right? So in addition to that, we've added the transaction report builder. What the transaction report builder does is it allows you to create printable versions of the same transactions. Let me just switch back to the transaction itself. So you can see here, we have a printable version of that requisition. And because of the transaction report builder, this is not now fixed. You can basically edit it to however your needs or how you need it. And basically you can design a PDF for this specific transactions that you would have here. So this is one of the additions that we've added to version 3.5, an ability to create these transactions report and print them out. All right. And then another addition, we've made some improvements in terms of our budgeting report process. So I'll just show you one of the forms that we've created here. Let me just move here. So we've added an ability to capture a dual account basis for budgeting, right? And this would mean that you can basically capture the accrual accounts and also the cash accounts as well. And in addition to this, and this is it's not necessarily restricted to M-Score, but this is designed basically for M-Score, right? In addition to this, we've added what we call business process, business rules validation, right? So one of the business validation rules is that when I'm choosing a capital project, for example, let me just choose any capital project here. All right. After choosing a capital project, you'll notice that the icon has changed. It has went from validating the account to saying that the account is correctly validated. All right. If I select, let me say just anything here, right, then the system will automatically run a validation check against your selection. And it will immediately tell you that whatever you've selected is invalid based on the validation or the business rules. This would say then here at the bottom of the input itself to say that both cash and accrual segments must be valid. Item must be asset, i.e. or payable and accruals, right? So basically it's just indicating to you that the combination of accounts that you've selected on this part are basically not compatible and you need to change your selection. So what we are doing is that we're trying to avoid human errors as much as possible by reinforcing the application with as much validations as possible, right? So in the past, what you guys would have been familiar with is an ability to add custom validations into the application. So now these are in-app built validations that would ensure that if you are doing M-score capturing of the budget itself is according to the business rules. And by the time you submit your budget string to Treasury, you won't have issues and mismatch as well. All right. And in addition to that, we noticed that because sometimes you'd find you have run an application and it has an API call, just like this one here. You'll see that this API call has automatically pre-populated my name, email, and email address. This is because this has an API attached to it for integration. If I open here just to show you, you'll see that this, this one is inheriting. Okay, here it is. All right, this is attached to the get user profile API, right? In some instances, I want to refresh, maybe the value has changed, right? Usually you would have to go to the browser at the top and refresh the whole page just to get new, fresh information. For the sake of making sure that the process is not intensive in terms of resources, and what we did is we added an ability to refresh that one specific field to recalculate and refetch the information from the database, right? And maybe some are familiar with this problem. For example, maybe one of your teams in the legal department have created a new contract, but we have an integration here for the contract, but that contract has not yet reflected. It probably takes like 5 minutes to reflect, and you're already on the screen. For you to see that contract again, you probably have to refresh the whole page. But with this new feature for version 3.5, it allows you to only refresh that specific page and to get a list of new contract details as well. All right. And finally, the last important feature that we've added to version 3.5 is the managing your business cycle, right? So business cycles are important, especially if you're dealing with financial information and also productivity, right? In computers and servers are always up 24 hours a day, but we know that we as humans, we only come to work at a specific and certain time. So the calculation of the SLA and also the overdueness of tasks is done based on this standard business week cycle. So this is the configuration that your business manager, or rather the administrator of your application, can now come here and configure and say that in our business, we have 12 cycles, and our financial year start would be January, for example, but I know most is just June, right? And here then you specify where the shift will start. It will start at 9 and maybe end at 5, right? And you indicate which working days do we have. In addition to that, you can then now add holidays. For example, I can just add a holiday here and name it and say maybe this is Workers' Day, for example. And why is this relevant? This is relevant in the calculation of the number of available hours for workers to do their job. And therefore, meaning that when we calculate the number of remaining days for a task, we can do it fairly, and we consider that people only work within a certain period of time, right? So these are mostly the new features that we are introducing in version 3.5, and this now creates a pipeline for future possible features that we should be looking out for. And this includes escalation, right? An ability to escalate a task to someone else or to the manager, who can then now reassign the task in cases of tasks being stuck in one step for too long, right? So this is an overview in terms of the introductions of new features into iserve version 3.5, right? Is there any questions from the team?
Hi, Terence. I haven't noted any questions in the comments yet, but I will take it as a sign of them appreciating some of the highlights that you've shared. Most importantly, Terence, before you leave, when can we expect 3.5 to be available on our desktops?
All right, version 3.5 is already available on our review step, right? And our end users, which is our clients, can expect to see it this Friday, and we'll be then pushing it to the production server, all right? And then it will be available end of business on Friday.
All right, another frequently asked questions would be, how would this change my current workflow, or will it just be a seamless update, or is there anything that I need to do in addition for me to see the update up and running?
All right, so this update has backwards compatibility, meaning there's no breaking changes, meaning it won't change anything on the implementation. For those who want to add an element of managing tasks in terms of their duration, then you can go back and edit the workflow so that you add the number of days per workflow step. By default, we've added a 7 days period for each task, right? So if there's a need to extend that 7 days, you can just go back and edit it. And for everyone else who's using the budget component, right? Let me just go back to the full example, right? For everyone else using the budget component, it still has the backward compatibility, right? It will still work. But if you need to add a cash basis for your account leg, you would then need to re-edit this component and ensure that you select the account basis type, right? So you go to the editor and you'll see that it's either performance, which would then mean accrual, liquidity, which is then cash, or dual for both. So if you're capturing both cash and accrual, just change the account basis to dual. Otherwise, if you just want to capture the accrual, just keep it as accrual as well. So that's the only changes that they might need to make. But otherwise, existing implementation, they will still be supported.
Right. Thank you very much, Terence. I don't see any comments or questions yet. Colleagues, I think this is a sign that everyone is quite satisfied with the presentation of the product and its release. Do look out for the update coming this Friday. It will propagate gradually, but usually what would happen is that all sessions you can restart by just refreshing your page, and most probably everyone will also get to see it. If they don't see it on Friday, Monday, they will see some of these changes already having propagated. So that's it from our end for the first part of the session. We'll now then jump into the second part, which is just another exciting announcement, which is our channel partner. And basically, we have launched the platform where we can now onboard partners, make sure that they are trained on our platforms. And this would include the partner channel. Terence, if you may allow me to continue sharing on my end.
All right. Thank you, Zweli.
Thank you very much, Terence. Enjoy your day further. All right. I think it's very clear that when we started this conversation in 2023 rather, to open up our technology to a community, we wanted it to be driven by the community. And as you can see, true to our word, we've been listening and hearing you out on your concerns and comments and suggestions as you go around implementing this wonderful product. And from those lessons learned, we've tried our level best to answer every concern that has been raised. I must say our backlog is still quite a knee-high deep, so we are trying to move as fast as possible. And so we think that it's quite feasible for us to have these discussions and webinars on a quarterly basis. So this one concludes the end of our 2024-2025 period. Now we're starting our 2026 period going onwards, and we hope more features to come through. There's some very much exciting things that we are experimenting on the background, and this includes the use of AI agents that will make us navigate our solutioning much better, especially from an end user point of view, but also from an implementer's point of view. And you can imagine the work is quite robust for us because our product is both B2B, but also is experienced by the end user. And the end user experience is quite paramount to us when it comes to how we view our rating and how people receive our product. With that being said, the channel partner is opening. We've had partners showing interest from even our SADC regions, inclusive of Swaziland and Zimbabwe. So here we've said we are opening that partner conversation where you can come onto the partner channel, that is channel.iserve.africa. You can sign up. As soon as you sign up, we'll get a message to where we'll contact you, and our team will basically help you to register your entity. Obviously, there's a few prerequisites that one needs to ascertain, which would be, first of all, getting certified on the product, which you will go through our iserve University. And then also you get to do your 30-day business management where you can raise quotations with approval steps. This will help us as you grow as a partner. We can work with you head and shoulders when you are basically demonstrating the product and selling the product. And this also will open up, once you have the partner license, to a 24-hour SLA where we'll address all your issues relating to your implementation. I think our first few partners with our first partner rollout has given us so much experience and learnings that we've improved even the product itself. So when you are a partner, there's a number of services that you get from this relationship, which include obviously, fast tracking the build of quotations. No longer will you have to send a request and then you wait 2 to 3 business days before you get a quotations. Now it will be done same time. You basically log on to the channel, create your quotations based on the product catalog, and then you'll be able to submit your quotation, and you will update as per your sales cycle, which step of the sales cycle are you on until we confirm a pro forma for yourself. This is to also help us track our loyalty tiers because they are based on performance. And so you'll be able to also see the target for the annual period and how far are you at a certain point. So our target basically tiers stand as is, where we start off with a non-discount, and then followed by bronze, which will give you about 10% discount based on the target figures. And also you can grow up to 50% depending on your annual performance. Each rating is reviewed annually, and therefore what you achieved in last year's performance, that will dictate the percentage tier you fall in the current year. Our current fiscal starts 1st of March and ends at the end of February the following year. Right. Also, what we've introduced here is the Sage Wrapper API. Basically, this is our Sage inclusive wrapper that includes all Sage products. We have now consolidated with our previous platform, which was the Catalyst, which had the Sage 200 integration. Now we have brought it into the iserve platform as a part of the component license there. And then you also then be able to manage your license sales per the different Sage products, and you can benchmark. Another thing to look out for in the coming course of the year, we expect this in the middle of the year, is our a global license per business partner, and then you can then, or let's call it a wholesale license rather, where you can now distribute your licenses to your organization as you please. So we'll sell you at bulk, and then you can assign it to how many partners you want, or end users within your organizations as well. So that's something new. But for now, we have a fixed rate of our Sage Wrapper API, which basically opens to the ETL and the API integration services. Then also sales rep management. The platform allows you to onboard as you load yourself as a partner. You will already have given access to your sales rep to also create quotations so that they can manage their sales conversation. Lastly is our approval workflows. They are now transparent on the platform. You will see what has been approved, what has been rejected, and if you require any extensions on existing a quotation, and then it will follow its legitimate approval process. Included there is your admin analytics. Will give you a summary of your performance in terms of targets and the quotations that you have raised and those that are probably expiring. So that's it for today's announcements. Like I said, if you are interested, go to channel.iserve.africa and sign in, and our team will reach out and help you to onboard. It's very important that you get the certification, get your team on board, and let's get the conversation started, because we've seen how the market receives this product. And so we think that with more people in our community will make a huge difference going forward. So we hope to hear from you soon. That's it from today. You may enjoy your day. If there are not any other questions, we may adjourn. All right. No signs of questions. I do appreciate the applause and the thumbs up and the trumpets. I think this is quite well received. Let's meet up again.
Welcome to iserve Africa, where we transform your procurement processes with cutting-edge technology. Experience unparalleled control and insight with our comprehensive reporting features designed for today's dynamic business environments. Dive into our procurement plan report, which gives you a detailed overview of your financial year, aligning budgets seamlessly with your procurement activities to ensure effective management and foresight. Follow every detail of your demand planning through real-time updates and proactive management tools that allow for adjustments on the fly, ensuring you're always a step ahead. Simplify your requisition process with our intuitive requisition workflow. From initial request to final reviews, monitor and manage each step with clarity and ease. Our tender portal revolutionizes supplier interaction, streamlining your request for quotations with a multi-tier workflow that facilitates easy comparison and optimal decision-making. Gain critical insights from our custom-built reports and analytical dashboards. Every transaction and action is logged and auditable, providing you with real-time data to drive efficiency and strategic growth. iserve Africa is redefining procurement management. Empower your team with actionable insights and robust tools designed to excel in procurement management. Book a demo today and take the first step towards transforming your procurement strategy.